Kelly Foster Warder currently serves as the Executive Artistic Director at Artistry, a theater and visual arts nonprofit in Minnesota. Kelly has served as an arts administrator for over 30 years. Her work as a director and choreographer has been seen on stages across the Twin Cities and the country, including the Theater Latte Da. Is it a better that way? The Ordway Children's Theater, Signature Theater, and Fifth Avenue Theater, to name a few. Kelly previously served as Director of Education at Hennepin Arts, Director of Education and Producing Associate at the Ordway, and Associate Artistic Director and Director of Impact at Theater Latte. Beginning her career as an educator, Kelly has served as a teacher and coach in Minnesota, Bolivia, and Panama City. And then on the next page, Panama. Kelly believes deeply in the power of the arts to bring people together. Let us welcome Kelly. And there you are.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be back. I think it was a couple of years ago that we got to come here and talk, but we are Artistry. Some of you familiar, I see familiar faces, hi, out there, but are most of you familiar with Artistry, or are some of you this is new? Más o menos, a little more. See, Panama City, Panama, not Panama City, Florida. So that's where the Spanish comes in a little bit. So my name's Kelly, and you read all of the things, but I grew up south of the river, so close to Bloomington. I grew up in Rosemont, Minnesota, and my mom worked at the Minnesota Zoo in Apple Valley for 30-some years. So I grew up at the zoo, basically. Like putting on my dance costumes to hand out Easter eggs, or learning to use the laminator. My mom was actually the person that started the concert series at the zoo a long time ago, which now has an amphitheater, and it's a big fancy thing, but it really started with local artists out by the beluga whales. So if anyone remembers that. I think it was Prince's bass player was the first band out there. And so I grew up really as a part of creating experiences for people. Now my kids grow up in the backstage of a theater and putting on costumes to hand out programs and those things. So I guess that's how it goes. But I say all that to say that this has just been a part of who we are, which is creating experiences for the community. And so to be at Artistry now and serving in this way feels like the natural place for me to have come, because Artistry is such a community-focused place. It came from community organizations. So there was the Art Center, Bloomington Art Center, that started in the 70s, that's now become Artistry. There was Bloomington Civic Theater that started in the 60s, that has now all come together. And so we're just really proud of our Bloomington roots, and I'm proud to help move it forward. So we have some slides, and we'll work our way through them. Do I get to do it? Yes, look at that. Let's see if it magic. It does. Okay, so Artistry. Our mission: in pursuit of artistic excellence, we engage our region's most talented artists in work that welcomes and develops audiences and opens hearts and minds. Our vision is a diverse, distinctive, and progressive community widely recognized for making art and artists essential to a vibrant social fabric and civic life. That has been the mission of Artistry, and we do that in a number of ways. So we're a nonprofit professional arts organization. So our theater, which is what most people know us for, we produce at least 4 shows on the Schneider stage every year. This was Sweet Charity, which was a fantastic show this fall, and we're currently producing Waitress, and there's 1 week left, and there are very few seats, but if you have not seen it, you should tell I know people. I can get you in, but we're really proud of the work that's happening on our stages. And then, of course, we have the Visual Arts Gallery. So there are 2 in the Bloomington Center for the Arts. One is the Inez Gallery, which you can see here. That's the larger one where people voted this year in Bloomington. We also work with the city to make sure things are accessible, as well as our atrium that's upstairs. And currently the Bloomington Elementary Art Show is up there, so all the Bloomington Elementary School kids, it's fantastic. And tonight they're going to celebrate, tonight and tomorrow night, those things. And then we also have a gallery in the Wildlife Refuge on the other side of Bloomington. Do you know the Minnesota Wildlife Refuge? So we have a gallery there that we work with them to curate, and it's all focused on nature and wildlife. So there's 3 galleries in Bloomington that Artistry gets to help produce. And all of those artists on stage in the galleries, everyone is paid for their work because it's a professional arts organization. And then, of course, we have arts education. So We always say at whatever age and stage you can participate in the arts. From summer camp to adult classes, we currently have a Golden Movement class, which is a dance class if you're 55 and older, that is in its 4th session now. It's very popular. I'm almost old enough to take that class. And the teacher she's a trained ballet dancer. She danced with Celine Dion. You can see her all over. She was just at Chanhassen. She'll be at the Guthrie this summer. She's fantastic, and she won't make you do too much, so come and take that dance class if you want to. So that's the main work of what we do, is really how do we infuse arts into the lives of our community. I'm sharing this so that you get a picture. So every year we create a year end. So in 2024, we were able to show 534 art pieces. We had over 250 students. We hire over 300 theater makers every year. We increased our theater attendance by quite a lot. We've been growing since COVID, and we're just really proud of the work that we have been doing at Artistry. Some of you know that all of us arts organizations went through some stuff. It was COVID, there was some shutdowns, went through some things, and Artistry was not exempt from that, and actually went through more difficult things, right? We had a changeover in leadership, and we had a lot to overcome. And the last time we were here, we were kind of in the middle of that. And I'm really excited to tell you, through the help of our board and the community and our artists, that we have turned an amazing corner. And now not only our audience is back, but artists are back. Our audits are done. We're financially on the move forward, and we're really, really excited to be able to continue this work in our community. These are just pictures of each of the shows, in case you haven't been, just so you can see the quality. So last year, this is last season, our Crazy for You performance, which featured a full orchestra, which you never get to see in a musical theater. We get to see them because we have orchestras here in our community. But in musical theater, you never see a 20-piece orchestra, and we really prioritize those musicians. So Crazy for You had that, and our choreography was voted the best of the Twin Cities from the Twin Cities bloggers from that show. And then we did Sound of Music, which was fabulous and wonderful for so many reasons. Not only was it like 98% sold, which is why you do Sound of Music, but it was also voted Best Director. Our Max Watanowitz directed that show and was voted Best Director. And then we did Newsies this summer, which was also fantastic, and we engaged students in that process as well as the professionals. And that was one of the best shows, what does it say? The best of 13 best Twin Cities area performances by the Star Tribune. So of all of the professional theater, Newsies was voted one of the best in the Star Tribune, but we're not done yet, because then we did Rent, and Rent was also voted one of the best. So Artistry had 2 shows in the top 13 of the Twin Cities, and we are the only theater that had 2 fully local productions. So not the Guthrie, not the other places, just Artistry. So we have really jumped up our professionalism, our impact, and people are recognizing it, and that's really exciting. And it was also voted Best Musical by the Twin Cities bloggers of the whole year. So we're I think it's rightfully so, we're pretty proud of the work that we have been doing and the artists that we've been partnering with. We also partnered with Lahamadou. Theater Lahamadou is up north, and we produced a show for them this past summer, which was great, because then guess what happened when we did Rent? People were like, I saw your show up north and I came down here to see it. Something that we've been excited about is 25% of our audience comes from Bloomington, our theater audience. That means 75% of the people that come to the theater come from outside Bloomington to Bloomington. That means they're spending money in Bloomington because of the arts, which is, arts is an economic driver, and we're really proud to be a part of that. We have Gifts in the Gallery every year. Have any of you ever been to Gifts in the Gallery or seen that? We take the gallery, and we take all local artisans, and they bring their stuff to sell. And so every December, you can get all of your holiday needs. I actually end up spending a paycheck it's like, well, everyone we all do. Just turn in your paycheck and buy your gifts for the year. But what's great is that all of these local artists then also are making money at the holidays, and we're serving the community that way. It's pretty special. If you haven't seen it, come see it. So the Inez Greenberg Gallery, last summer, we had Luis Fitch, which is a nationally known artist, the new Minnesota flag. He was the person that led, the artist that led that conversation. He's been in Target, he's been all over, and he did his retrospective in our gallery this summer. And not only did he do that, which was gorgeous and beautiful, he did a bunch of free workshops for our community. So during the farmers markets, he was there, the artist himself, and people could stop by and create art with their families. And he did that 4 or 5 times over the summer, and it was really fantastic. something that we're really focused on is how do we make arts accessible? What are the opportunities, whether it's ticket prices, whether it's who do we reach out to, whether it's our prices for our classes, and then how do we make more people be able to participate? So it was really fabulous to partner with Louise Fitch. And then the HM Gallery we talked about, and the Confluence Gallery. So those are just some photos of that. So those are the main things that we do, and there's pictures of kids because kids making art makes everybody happy, so they're there. And that's Andrea in our Golden Movement class up there as well. So we have a clay studio. Some of you know the clay studio is open. We have a glass studio that's open. So there are lots of ways to engage in the arts with artistry at the Bloomington Center for the Arts. Some stats I thought you'd be interested in. So we have over 350 individual donors that give every year. We're hoping to grow that and build that out, but we're really thankful for those folks. They make it possible to do what we do. We have over 100 volunteers with over, I think it's like 500 volunteer hours. So whether they're ushers, board members, teaching assistants, sometimes they come help us paint, sometimes they help us build sets, all sorts of ways for people to volunteer and be a part of the work at Artistry. Over 90,000 people come to Artistry a year. That is a massive amount of money, whether it's through our amount of people, whether it's through our galleries or through our shows. We're really bringing folks to Bloomington, and we're proud of that. Over 320 theater makers get paid through Artistry. 90-plus visual artists get paid through Artistry. Actually, last year we paid out $65,000 to visual artists that came through so that they can continue to be artists and do their good work. We have a lot of partners that make it possible. The City of Bloomington is one of our most important partners as we share a building and share space with them, and we work really close with them. Creative placemaking in the City of Bloomington, we partner with them in a lot of ways. The other Bloomington resident arts organizations, we have really grown and really believe that we are a team and that together we lift each other up, and so I'm really excited for all the ways that we've been working together and promoting each other. Because Artistry has such a large audience, it is an opportunity for us to share out those groups, and we try to do that as much as we can. We're partnering with Fraser, Project Success. We bring students to see our shows for free. So through Project Success and through Bloomington Public Schools, actually all of our dress rehearsals, the theater departments from Bloomington Public Schools bring their kids and they come to our final dress rehearsal. And it's fun for them because they get to see that last process, but it's fun for us because we get to hear the reactions to the show, so it helps everybody. But it's a really exciting partnership. We also partner with the elementary schools, as we said, but we're a Kennedy Center partner, so we partner with Bloomington Public Schools in a number of ways, supporting teachers, students, and the arts. We actually partner with the Hilton. The Hilton is one of our new partners. They're hosting our benefit. We're going to be supplying art in this building and really working with the Hilton, so we're so grateful for them. The Minnesota State Arts Board, we have several project grants with the Minnesota State Arts Board. So if you're familiar, you have to write those grants and create those projects, and we've been awarded 2 of those already this year, and we're really grateful to the State Arts Board. Propel Nonprofits is an organization that helped us turn around and get on our feet again, and so I always like to give credit to Propel for helping with consulting and supporting. We actually originally, back in 2023, got a loan from Propel, if those of you have been following the saga, for $50,000 that then helped us move forward, and we have now paid that loan off in full. And so we have no more loans to Propel, no more debt to the city. All of those things are paid off, and now we're really moving forward, so we're excited about that. And then we talked about this, our Bloomington focus. We're really excited about Bloomington and the things that are happening here. And we'll have a little announcement about that too. And then, of course, something that Artistry gets to do because of our audience is that we're a lot of print and TV and radio. So the Star Tribune has been a great help, and we haven't been buying advertising. They come out, they want to write stories about our shows, and it's crazy. People still read the Star Tribune. Do you still read the Star Tribune? When I tell my staff that, they're all like, my staff is all younger. But when we're in the Star Tribune, our phone rings off the hook. It's crazy. So we're really grateful that people are still reading the paper and that it's working for us. This week we were on WCCO, performing on WCCO. We're on the radio and the TV. We're on Fox 9. And so it's exciting to get to talk about Bloomington on TV and for the whole larger state to get to hear about us. And Artistry gets to do that, which is great. So what's next? So we've reopened our full gift shop and box office. We now are the box office again for the City of Bloomington. So anytime you're buying a ticket for anything that happens at the Bloomington Center for the Arts, Artistry is serving the city in that way. So we're really excited to be able to do that. And then the gift shop is now reopened and larger, which means individual artists get to show there, but also it's a chance for people to engage. And it's been so fun before shows to see it full and to see people excited about seeing what our local artists are doing. Our full summer camp schedule is back. We actually have a sale this week, so if you have kids and you want to sign up for summer camp, we do performing arts and visual arts from kindergarten all the way through high school, and we're really excited to have that full camp schedule back. Our visual arts is moving forward, and we have 2 more years of dynamic programming planned. I just had a meeting this morning with Peyton Russell, who's a world-renowned artist who's been in our gallery before, but now is going to be curating for us. So Peyton Russell is a graffiti artist who's world-renowned for his work, and so we're really excited to be partnering with Peyton again. Our regional premiere of Waitress, that means that no one else has done a professional production in our town before, and we got to do it, which is great. I think this whole weekend was sold out. There was maybe 1 or 2 seats this entire weekend, and we're really grateful that people want to see the work. Erin Capello is the person, and you were just there. I mean, she's playing the lead, and she performs all over, History Theater, la-ti-da, but she is remarkable, truly worth spending 2 hours to hear this woman sing. So let me know, I'm just saying, let me know. We'll have our 2nd annual benefit right here in this room. Actually, it'll be bigger, but it'll be right here October 27th, and we hope that folks will join us. We just talked about, we have 2 Minnesota State Arts Board grants. One is for access programming. So we're gonna be partnering with the resident arts organizations to give everyone training on how do we serve folks that we haven't traditionally been able to serve, as well as how do we engage older adults in the arts. And so we're focused on those 2 things. This is something we're really excited about, theater in the black box. So when the pandemic happened, we had to shrink a little bit. And so we hadn't been able to do some straight plays and some more unique things in the black box. But this summer we are back performing in the black box. Our first show is called Love and Baseball. It's a great new work, really fun. We're excited to get that rolling. But the reason we can do that is something I've learned. This is insider baseball information. What I have learned over the last few years is that, well, this isn't new. It's tricky to make arts. It's tricky to be a nonprofit, and it's even trickier now, right? It's actually tricky to do anything right now, it feels like, a little bit. And so we're all trying to figure out, how do we do this smarter? How do we engage people better? And how do we really be good stewards of people's investment in us? That's really important to me, because people are counting on us and trusting us, right? And so how do we be good stewards of that? And something I've learned is you can't keep doing the same thing over and over. And in order for artistry to continue to serve, we need to have more revenue generating stuff, right? We can't count on people to give in the same way. Foundations can't give in the same way. Corporations are not giving in the same way. So one of the reasons we're so grateful that Bloomington Rotary exists, because you're still supporting and still giving, and we're so thankful to us and to so many others. So how do we have more revenue generating programming? Well, we can't rehearse in the space where revenue generating programming can happen, right? We have to use that space to bring people in. And so we're really excited to have found a new space for rehearsal. So the Bloomington Center for the Arts will always be our home. We have a costume shop that's off-site, and now we're expanding that to include rehearsal space. So we'll be able to rehearse off-site and perform on-site, which is really exciting. And not only will we be able to do that, but lots of people need rehearsal space right now. Lots of folks are looking for that, and so we'll be able to serve our broader community. And so I just thought you'd be the first people we could tell about it, and that would be a fun thing to tell. So we have found this amazing space. It used to be a dance studio, and they're moving out. We could never have afforded to create it. So we were looking somewhere else, and I was like, what's over there? And we peeked in, and we found this amazing space. So we'll be able to have our costume shop with fitting rooms and wigs and all of the things that have to happen, but then there are several rehearsal spaces and storage. So we're really excited to move in there in June and up our level of quality, our level of experience, and make more opportunities for art to happen in the Center for the Arts. These are the pictures of what it looked like. I'll paint it, but isn't it pretty? So it's a beautiful space. We hope to have an open house soon, and we will invite all of you to come and check it out. But it's going to serve this community in a number of ways, and it's going to take artistry and our art to the next level. So we're excited about that. Up next, Bloomington Art Show is happening this summer. We're having this really cool functionality and language visual arts program in the INES. So that's what's happening in visual arts. Education, there's Louise that I talked about. So we'll have our glass studio, clay studio, all of these things are going. Watercolor classes. We're starting something called Open Studio for artists that can just come and use the space. They just need a place to be and be together, so we're really thrilled about that. We'll be having free arts classes during the summer, during the My brain is turned off, apologies. Thank you so much, Farmers Market. So we're excited to keep the art moving in education. And then here's what's coming next. So there's our waitress. You have 1 week left to see it. Love and Baseball's coming this summer. This is one of my former students. His name is Danny McHugh. Do you know that show? Does that look like an iconic? Singing in the Rain is coming this summer. It's one of Artistry's most beloved shows they've done in the past. Danny McHugh is a professional actor. He just did the national tour of Jesus Christ Superstar. He performs all over the country, and he's coming home this summer to play Don Lockwood in Singing in the Rain. And I get to direct it. We're going to choreograph it together. I'm really excited. It's one of my most favorite. The last time we did it here at Artistry, Michael Matthew Farrell, the late, great Michael Matthew Farrell, directed and choreographed it, and he was one of the best theater artists in the world, but in Minnesota. But he and I helped choreograph. I choreographed one of the numbers with him, and so it'll be a nice homage and respect to Michael, but also an amazing show for us. And there will be rain. I don't know how, but there will be rain in Singing in the Rain. So you have to come and see how. And then Once on This Island is a Tony Award-winning show that's going to be happening this fall as well. And then I can tell you one more secret. We are going to announce a holiday show in the Black Box this year. It's called Plaid Tidings. Have any of you heard of those plaid shows? They're the famous plaid shows. And one of the original plaids is our music director. So from all over the country is going to come and help us create that show. So we're really excited for all of the programming that's coming this summer. How you can help, of course, you already do help because we see you at our shows. The Rotary supports us. Letting me even talk about it is really useful. We're actually doing a study. The city is doing a study of the Bloomington Center for the Arts, and it's going to be really important for us to figure out how this building should be used going forward in the future. So I'm telling everyone, if you engage in the arts and you think it's valuable, be a part of that study. Let them know how the arts has impacted you, because that building was built and designed for and by the arts, and we want to make sure that the arts stays central to it, and you can help us do that. Come to our shows, attend our benefit. We would love to have you there. It's right here. You'll be very comfortable and familiar. Because we have a new rehearsal space, there's going to be opportunity to name some of those spaces for signage and those things to help us engage and make that space really wonderful. There are all sorts of ways to support the arts and to support artistry, and we're so grateful. I went sort of quickly because I know some of you are familiar, and so if anyone has questions, open book. The board members will stop me if I shouldn't say something that I should. No, I'm just kidding. But I would love to talk about artistry or the arts if anyone has questions. I brought some flyers, more information, but we're really lucky to have a community that values it. And I think the community is lucky to have our arts organizations, and so it's a good partnership, and I'm really, really grateful. So, any questions? You're allowed to.
Yeah, I've been on the board almost 6 years, and we did go through some trying times during COVID, and Kevin was a member of our Rotary at that point in time. And I think the president at the time, we were going through all this Pat,
You say Pat?
last name Pat.
Milan.
Yeah,
Mylan.
I don't know how many letters he wrote that we were going to close. We never did. We just stuck. And this woman has been a real gift. She brought 4 other people. She put a team together. And somehow she's got such energy. And the rest of the group is fantastic. Was fantastic. They've transitioned. Now you've got 2 people from that original team have left. Or is it 3? Anyway. Yeah, anyway. And I see us as a Rotary Club perhaps occupying 2 or 3 of those tables. September what?
October 27th.
October 27th, okay. It's a good entertaining evening for that benefit. I was very pessimistic, that's just my nature. Last year, thinking, well, it's on a Monday night, now who's going to come on a Monday? Well, we sold out all the tables. It was fantastic.
Yeah, 200 people came.
Good food, yeah, and every table was sold, so I couldn't organize that. Anyway, but thank you for everything that you've done. You are tireless.
I mean, I'm a little tired. You saw me. I'm a little tired. Well, that's kind of why I mentioned like growing up here. Karen always makes me cry a little bit. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. I think people misunderstand the importance that arts plays in their lives, and the importance that having opportunity to play, an opportunity to create, an opportunity to just be in a place that values everyone for who they are and what they bring. I think we underestimate that, or as a society we can underestimate it, and it has been really hard, but people like Karin and Paul and our board members and our partners have made it better and easier. But it's hard because it's good, because it matters. And so the good news is that I really think the hardest part, is this wood? What, I don't want, the hardest part in the sense of can we survive? There's no question. We learned quickly that it matters to people. So, because we said we're going to just keep our promises, right? Let's just keep our commitments to audiences and artists for 1 year, and we'll see. And people kept coming back. So our first year, the first year back, it was like 65-70% sold audiences, and we were thrilled about that, because that's what a lot of theaters do on a good day, right? Our second year, we were 80-85%, and now our shows are selling out, which means people want to come. Artists are signing up to be a part of it. Our audition list is long. What we proved is that we're necessary and we're needed, and now we just need folks to pay for it, right? To help fund it and to help talk about it and to get the word out, because it matters to people and it matters to me. I wouldn't have survived without the arts, right? And I think a lot of people can say that, whether they're mathematicians now, whether they're lawyers now, they can look back at a time, a teacher, a class, an experience where they felt moved by that. And that's why it's worth living. And so, yeah, it's been hard, and it's super hard.
I think the community is dead if they don't have the arts.
Well, we just miss out on each other. I say this at every performance. I say, first of all, you can turn off your cell phones so that you don't bother the people around you, but also because you get to be fully present in something for 2.5 hours. You just get to immerse in a story. How often do we get that anymore, right? And so that's what the arts can do, and we need that in order to be people. Yeah.
I think we need to recognize Karin Nordstrom. She's one of the people that was buttonholing everybody. Larry probably has lots of stories. It hasn't been just 6 years. And buttonholing.
Oh,
And I know that in terms of your financial contributors, she's probably right at the top of the list, if not at the top of the list, along with Bud, who she convinced to give the money.
But it's very generous. Anything I say.
I mean, yes. Yes, Karin, not only financially, not only harassing other people to give financially, but the support and the time and the energy, and for years and years and years. We would not be the arts community that we are without Karin Nordstrom, 100%. Thank you for saying that. It's super true. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
How do we keep the arts in the schools? Because it seems like that's the first thing they're dropping.
Well, one is we show up at those school board meetings and support all those teachers for sure, and that way. But also that's sort of what us as arts organizations can do, is partner with those teachers. And so one of the things that we've done in the past that we hope to do more of is we show up in the schools. So 10 years ago, I was in a show at Artistry. I was in 42nd Street at Artistry. I don't remember how many years ago. And one of the things that I did with Miss Anita Ruth was I went to one of the schools, and I taught for several weeks. I taught tap dance, we talked about theater, and that's paid for by Artistry, so the schools don't have to pay for it. And so it's by supporting the arts organizations, then they're able to pay artists to keep those connections going. And so, but it's good to know that that's a priority, because that's something that we want to keep talking about.
That was a great question, but since we're on TV, I want to point out we've cut $8 million in the last 2 years in Bloomington schools, but we've kept music and arts programming.
Let's go, Bloomington schools. And I'm sorry you have to cut $8 million. These are things we don't understand.
And also middle school sports.
And middle school sports, thanks to the Rotary Club.
Yes, Rotary. That's right, it does. Thank you so much for letting me chat with you today, and for all of your support for the arts in Bloomington. We're really glad to be partners.